3 powerful keys for effective NLP communication. People are incredibly complex, and how they communicate with one another is a reflection of that complexity. We regularly feel misunderstood, whilst actively misunderstanding. This all too common type of communication is not effective, nor is it particularly fulfilling. It is certainly not how it can be if you were to use NLP's advanced communication tools. Now, there are many reasons that this happens, and there are 3 very common dominant ones, which I'm sure you'll recognise below. Flawed reason number 1. One of the biggest problems people face when trying to communicate is they can all too quickly become emotionally engaged. Now, when I say emotionally engaged, this could be positive, like excited and happy, which is fine. The problems begin when the emotional engagement is negative, which unfortunately is the most common. This at times highly charged emotional engagement can cause us to badly misinterpret the meaning of the communication, looking to quantify and justify the triggered feeling. Then pretty much all rational logic thought escapes us, and we proceed to engage, respond and behave in a way we feel fits the emotion that we have created inside of ourselves. Flawed reason number 2, we interact using our own preferred style of communication. We use the words, terms and phraseology that means something to us whilst having no awareness as to how the information is being received by the other person. We tend to be incredibly vague whilst believing we're being clear and concise, or we drown in our own minutiae, being far too convoluted to truly follow. Sometimes we just don't connect. The words we use don't have any meaning, or very little, that would encourage interest or engagement from the listener. Lastly, and equally as important, we have flawed reason number 3. We assume. What that means is, because it all seems so clear, connected and justifiable in our own minds, we simply assume, even expect, it to be just as clear and tangible for the listener. This unfortunately is exactly how we do it most of the time. These 3 reasons are mostly present in all of our attempts to communicate. And it doesn't really seem to matter what it is that we're trying to communicate, from the mundane everyday stuff to the vitally important stuff. In fact, as it rises in importance, so rises our risk of misinterpretation. Our relationships can be fraught, stressed, and constantly under emotional pressure, because we just can't be clear. Thus, on the satisfying and effective life-fulfilling scale, we are often scoring badly. But there is a much better way. We teach the skills that are in the NLP practitioner material is exactly how we can help you communicate better. Now, neural, which is the mind, linguistic, of course, is our language, and the programming is our habitual processing. Using language to effectively influence the mind of ourselves and other people. There are actually 2 levels to NLP, which is the practitioner training level and the master practitioner training, both of which can help to increase exponentially the effectiveness of your communication. Now, here's 3 of the most powerful things that you can learn to increase your effectiveness in all communication and interaction, and they are: Lesson 1, effective control and utilization of your own emotional states. Lesson 2, the active and accurate sensory engagement and awareness. And Lesson 3, the finite control of your language, using the perfect words at the perfect time. Now, this may all sound a bit academic, a bit theoretical. Rest assured, it is easier than it all sounds. Changing behaviours and learning new skills may have seemed hard in the past, but when you have a systemized way, which is NLP training, that can easily guide you step by step, it all starts to become very easy. So for you, change number 1 is learning to control how you emotionally engage. Think about the times in the past when you have overreacted. Notice how later on you can easily see other options, other ways you could have chosen to go if only you hadn't become negatively stimulated and emotionally driven. There will have been times, even things that are ongoing for you now, where the options you're allowing yourself have built-in self-sustaining limitations holding you back, possibly driven by anxiety, lack of belief, or maybe low self-esteem. Notice also all those times where you've gained a resolution on things, and you can now look back on them with a pragmatic point of view. And it's easy now to see other positive options that could have been available to you back then. Though at the time, there seemed only two options, a bad one and possibly a really bad one. State control really is key to good decisions. A negative state will always limit you. Break the state in whatever way you can. Think of something funny, focus for a moment on something else, even do star jumps if you want to. Whatever works best. But do notice when you create this emotional space, when you allow an emotional balance, then your positive options will always increase. Now, change number 2. Start by getting real. Now, reality is an illusion at the best of times. We want to learn to choose to see a reality that works for us. The way that human neurology works is that everything we experience is perception. We can't truly experience reality because reality is made up of significantly more data than we can process. We literally take raw data with no meaning and we create it into something that can have a significant meaning. Always remember, only now is real, and now is fleeting. You can't even say now in now. Everything else, the past, the future, and all our options and possibilities exists only in our imaginations. And it's our emotional associations, both negative and positive, that will play a massive part in what we perceive to be possible now and into the future, based mostly on what we believe to be true about our past. What you must change is learning to take a moment. Get some perspective on the experience without being in the experience. In your mind, allow yourself to step out of it, to disengage any triggered emotion, and allow a rational perception of the experience to guide any decisions you might make thereafter. The final change that you want to look to make is the all-important change number 3, which is, for me, is one of the most powerful changes, a true life skill. And that is learning to completely control the words that create the reality for yourself and any listener. Actually think about and choose the words that best fit the message you want to convey. Words certainly do have meaning, and that meaning will create an emotional response, and that emotional response will influence a person's behaviour. A picture does paint 1,000 words. The thing is, in communication, it's our words that paint the picture. A word that may be positive or innocuous to you may trigger a powerful negative emotional response in someone else. Just because it means one thing to you, don't make the mistake of thinking it means that same thing to everyone else. Choose your words wisely, and they will get it, probably even enjoy it. Choose your words carelessly, and they will not get it, and maybe even negatively rail against it. You have now learned 3 powerful things about your communication, and these powerful techniques come directly from NLP. You have learned already that there are rules to follow that create a reality out of an illusion. You have also learned there is a massive positive power that comes from controlling your state, only allowing yourself to use positive powerful states to drive your decisions. And of course, finally, you have learned there is an innate power in how you choose to use your language. Now, I hope that these insights have inspired you and brought you a clearer understanding of NLP practitioner and master practitioner philosophies.